everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth and I run the blog lifefromtheviolasection.com, where I share my favorite practice tips, general advice, and tech for musicians. So I asked over on my Instagram what questions you all had about using tablets for sheet music, and I just got 4 different questions which I will answer today. Just a quick little video about tablets for sheet music. So my first question is, are there any free apps for reading sheet music that are any good? When I first started using an iPad to read sheet music off of, I used my old iPad Air 2. That was not compatible with the Apple Pencil, and so I was just kind of testing the waters. First I used iBooks, which you can write and annotate on, which is nice. You can choose to open a PDF in iBooks as long as your iPad has it installed. It's a free app from Apple. That's what I used first, and then after that I used Forscore. I don't currently have that on this iPad, so we'll go ahead and download that and take a quick look at it. If you use a lot of sheet music from IMSLP, they also have their own free app, and you can read any music that you download from IMSLP in the app. I don't really like the layout, it just doesn't vibe well with me. And different websites where you can buy sheet music off of, like Music Notes, also have their own readers where you just open up the PDF that you bought. So those are also some other options, but now I have Forscore downloaded, so let's take a look at it. All right, so it puts in a couple different just test scores. So this one is for guitar. If I use my Apple Pencil, it automatically starts annotating right away, and I can circle things. There are different pens that I can use, and I believe you can add your own. There's also a highlighter, white, so that you can erase things that are already there. I love these features to get rid of some things that you maybe don't want, maybe things that are in the way. And there are also a couple different stamps. You probably don't have access to everything in the free version, but honestly, I think this might be about as much or possibly even more than Forscore offers without the subscription. I do not have the subscription for Forscore. So if you want to add in an extra note, just do it like that. There it is. It looks like it's printed in. Then you can also add text boxes and different symbols like crescendos, brackets, staves, arrows, things like that. So you can move this all around just like you can with Forscore, and the eraser erases anything that you've done within the app. If you want to change one of the pens or just the writing utensil, you can change the thickness, the type of stroke that it is, the color, the transparency, most things that you would probably want. So I think that this is a great free option, and I used this for a couple months until I decided to upgrade to my iPad Pro 12.9 inch. This is the iPad Pro from 2020. Of course, now that I'm recording, I forget which model of iPad Pro it is, but it'll be on the screen right over here. So I used Forscore for a couple of months until I got this iPad and then downloaded Forscore. I think the Forscore has great organization and the tools are very easy to use. So I think it's worth the one-time cost. I do not, however, have the subscription. The subscription just gives you a couple different tools, and it gives you access to the cloud so that if you have different devices that you want to use Forscore on, they'll all connect with each other and all show the same sheet music. I don't really have a need for that, so I've just been using the one-time purchase Forscore, and it's been great for me. So it depends on how much you want to put down, but if you're looking for a free option, I think Forscore is great. The next question asks what a good recommendation for a foot pedal is. I use the Donner Bluetooth pedal. This is the only one that I have personally tried, at least with my own equipment. I've seen other musicians use other ones like the Air Flip. I haven't heard of any horrible things or horrible complaints geared towards any of the pedals, any pedals at all really, other than, just make sure that you charge it, keep it charged, and make sure, turn it off if you're traveling in between gigs and just when you're not using it to conserve the battery. But you just press it down to activate it, turn it back on. It does go into kind of a sleep mode. So honestly, I almost never turn mine off, but I haven't been performing very much. So it's very, very low risk if my pedal dies for me right now. If you step on the right pedal, it will turn the page. If you step on the back pedal, it will turn the page back. So this one does everything that I need, and it has a couple different button options on it. and you can program those to do specific things within your PDFs. And it works in a lot of different apps, and I think you can even get it to work like in your browser if you want to keep scrolling down a page and things. But I find that in performances and just practice, this Donner Bluetooth pedal works really great, and it costs around $50. I think it might be a little bit more right now, but sometimes it goes on sale for around there. So this leads into my next question, which is, how do you get comfortable actually using a foot pedal to turn pages? So I feel like it came pretty naturally to me. The only things that I'm ever worried about are if I do go out and perform, at least maybe out in a venue, not in my home, just making sure that it's all charged and that it's actually connected to my iPad and that nothing dies. But if I were to do that, I'm sure I would monitor it closely and I would charge it fully before I leave, just like I do with my iPad, just like I do with my phone most times. You know, it comes naturally if you have technology and you live in that kind of world right now. But actually using it, I felt like it came really naturally to me because I've played piano for a long time, where you change the pedal for timbre changes, and with driving and everything, I think foot pedals tend to feel pretty natural for humans, at least, because there are a lot of times where we might use them in our lives. So, and just practice with it a little bit in very low risk situations, just when you're practicing, or if you're doing some score study or something, just try flipping through it. Even when you're listening to a recording and watching your sheet music, that might be a good way to practice, just to get the timing down and get used to it. And especially your first couple of days with this, practice just the page turns, maybe just the last line of a page into the first line of the next page. Those can be some really good things to do. Okay, our final question is a little more difficult to word, but this person has a set list in Forscore and they would like to duplicate it to then edit and, you know, add, maybe subtract a couple of songs within that new set list in Forscore. So opening up Forscore, we want to go to the little hamburger menu, which is the set list menu. So I have a couple of different set lists. I'm going to go to Orchestra Rep Spring. What you want to do is press and hold on that set list and it comes up with another menu. Press duplicate, it will name it again with 2 afterwards, and you have the whole thing again. So from here, you can long press again, press edit, and under name, you can title it something else. It thinks I have my pencil up for some reason, so we'll scratch that out and name it Tech Video. There we go. And I don't attach it to any libraries, that's just easiest for me. And from here you can press edit, remove things if you want, and then to add more, go to this plus button and you'll see everything in your Forscore library, but you can also organize it by composers, genres, tags, and labels. I usually just go by all scores because I try to name everything correctly in Forscore, at least correctly is in a way that makes sense to me. So then you can put in whatever works for you, press done. There's your new set list, and you can rearrange by just tapping and holding on that. So I hope that helps you out in creating your new set list in Forscore. All right, those are the 4 questions that I received for today. If you have any questions about using your tablet for reading sheet music or just using it as a musician at all, please leave them in the comments or send me an Instagram DM or an email, anything. Also, ignore my fingers. I was doing a craft project earlier, but it looks like I got fingerprinted. Yeah, just leave your comment down below and I will absolutely make a part 2 once I receive enough questions. So I hope that this gave you some new helpful tips and tricks and just some confirmation that tablets are really good for reading sheet music off of. If you liked today's video, please consider subscribing. I post new musical videos basically every other Sunday at noon Eastern time. Thanks for watching.